Joey. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited because my magical mystery bead box from Jesse James Beads was delivered about 10 minutes ago. It is called Rainy Day. It's the April 2025 box, and it is a wonderful world of whimsy. I just don't even know what to say. As I always say, Jesse James Beads keeps raising the bar on themselves as far as their boxes because they just get better and better, and you don't know what to expect the next thing that they come out with. So my very favorite thing in the whole box is the first thing up. It is the Silly Goose bead strand. Look at these beautiful hand-blown little geese or ducks, like just what you see in the spring in the duck ponds. And then I'm gonna have to try to get my fingers out of the way. Do you see the little silver ducky spacer bead? Isn't he adorable? And he's even got a little yellow enamel on his beak, and his eye has a little enamel. He's just absolutely gorgeous. So there are two of these hand-blown geese or ducks. I'm going to call them ducks. It's called Silly Goose, but I mean, they could even be swans. Just all the things that you see in the lakes and the spring showers. But there's these fabulous clay balls with the rhinestones in it, some really large oversized crystals. I'm crazy for these ceramic beads. They really look like puddles of rain. These spacer beads, I just keep going back to them. So I already know that I'm making a bracelet, and I already know that I'm using at least one of these beauties in my bracelet, and I am so excited. It's going to be a rather delicate bracelet, but I have an idea of kind of how to protect my little glass duck. So I don't know if I'll have time to do that in this video or if I'll come back in a second video, because I already have another project that I want to make too. But I just love that. That's my favorite thing in the whole box. I already know. And this is probably my second favorite. It is called the Drop Bead Strand, and it really does look like raindrops. It is two different briolette or top drilled glass drops. This one is milky frosty white with an AB finish on it, and this one has an AB finish on it, crystal clear both sides, but it's almost like magical mirror time, like you would see in a fun house at a carnival. Absolutely stunning. I like them separately and I like them together. The next bead strand is called Caught in the Rain, and it is just an entire strand of fabulous silver findings. I love this silver coin bead. The bead caps are stunning. There's some little thin silver filigree balls, some of the like daisy or sheriff star, we call them. They get called like wagon wheels, everything, but they're pretty common, but they are so beautiful in between other beads. Those little balls on the ends, just the shape is just really beautiful as a spacer for other beads. So this is just stunning. I even love these silver discs that are in here. I'm not going to cut this apart just yet. And then something really unusual in this month's box, not one, but two ready-made chains, not the normal Jesse James Beads chain reaction, but this is called the Rain or Shine chain, and it already has the lobster claw clasp on it, and all the little crystals are all wire wrapped, and it's just a ready done chain. If you've been around me at all, you know that I'm a big fan of jewelry makers having just empty chains in their jewelry box, because as we make pendants and things, as our boxes come in, you can just add them right on. But I would just leave this just as it is and wear it just like this. But then with other necklaces that you make, it can be a great layering piece as well. And then of course you always have the option of dissecting it, and you could turn it into a bracelet. I mean, that would be a really sweet little bracelet project. It is just wonderful. I just love it. So that's the Rain or Shine. And then we got another completely finished chain. It's absolutely gorgeous with these kind of open rings. It's got a little bit of a contemporary vibe. It's stainless steel. It has a really nice size lobster claw clasp on it. And again, if you wanted to embellish this further by like maybe creating charms with your beads and looping them through these circles, you could do that. You could wear it as a layering piece. You could just do so much. You could create a beautiful pendant focal to hang from this chain. And as always, don't be afraid to like cut things apart and do your own thing. That would make a really sweet little bracelet too. I absolutely love this. I just love the option of having a ready-made chain if you want it. It's so great. And then there is this gorgeous monsoon season bead mix, and all I did is take the lid off because I wanted to look at it with you guys. So I'm going to dump it into one of my little dishes, and let's have a look at this. It's so pretty. Oh wow, look at these. My eye went right to these rectangle faceted beads. They are gorgeous. I love the color. These are ceramic beads. They look like they have little water ripples around them. So, so pretty. I love getting these teardrops. Oh, that's pretty. There's quite a few of those. Another of those kind of, they look almost like moonstone. They have that opalescent AB finish, and they are also top drilled. And I love these little spacers. I'm just seeing these tiny little donut spacers, little rondelles. There's some crystal cubes in here. What else? There's quite a few of those little spacers. I love those. Cobalt blue faceted crystal drops. Those are lovely. And more of those kind of briolette. There's a couple of different ones in here. This briolette moon, like it looks like a water drop. I want to say moonstone. I don't know why that's coming to my mind, but doesn't it look like a drop of water? It's so pretty. And these are gorgeous. These are like in a dark teal. Looks like they have like an electroplating on them. Those are stunning. There's some of the little disco balls that have rhinestones in them. They add such beautiful bling and facets to our pieces. Did I miss anything? Oh my, I just love this mix. You know, you could take this mix and literally just string a little pattern and not overthink it. All the work is done for you. It's so, so pretty. I love that. And then we got another bead mix called Playing in Puddles. This, as I said, this is like a wonderland. It's like, it's got a storybook quality to this bead box. It really does. Everything is whimsical and well thought out, and the beautiful little theme just carries through the whole box. I'm going to dump this out. I didn't want to dump it before because I could see that it was layered almost like a pie or, you know, a dessert, where these beautiful little pearls are on the bottom, then these baby blue crystals, and then these 6-0 seed beads that are almost in a lilac color. And there's some silver metal spacers and some beautiful little AB bugle beads. I guess I'm a little bit excited to get started because I can barely talk. I was breathless when I opened this box, and I have another favorite. I love this bead mix too. So again, if you like dainty jewelry, you could literally just create patterns with this, but I am going to do a bracelet with this strand, and I'm going to simply leave these open because I'm probably going to pull from everything. And then I absolutely love these. I have purchased these in some other colors a couple of years ago, and I have used these for bracelet charms, but these are particularly beautiful. I love the color on these. It's so pretty, and they have a gold and a little pearl for the end of the umbrella, and the loop is already there at the top, and I am going to make a pair of earrings out of mine. I think they are just wonderful. And up next is this 5-piece connector set called Cloudy with a Chance of Rain, and so there's this beautiful white swirly. It really does look like a cloud. It's lightweight, it's really smooth and soft. It's got 5 points for connecting. So pretty. It's a lucite, and so you can see the thickness, but it's quite sturdy. That is beautiful. There are 2 little silver clouds in here, and they have even more little connector points. There's 5 at the bottom and 1 at the top, and then there's these gold plated lightning bolts with a mother of pearl inlay. Those are stunning. So that would make a really gorgeous pair of earrings as well with almost any of these beads. Even like my eye went to this cube bead beneath it, or one of these drops. Oh wow, that would be a gorgeous earring, just to briolette wrap one of the drops and make a pair of lightning bolt earrings. I was going to do earrings with these, but I may have to also do earrings with these because they are just lovely. The mother of pearl is on one side and the gold plating is on the other side. They're just absolutely fabulous. That would be a great fast pair of earrings. And let me grab one of my interchangeable lever back ear wires. I was also already making some earrings on these, and just show you, like, you could take a component like this and just thread it right onto the interchangeable lever back ear wires, you know, create another little dangle here with any bead in the box, and this would just be an absolutely gorgeous, fast, fun pair of earrings. And I think I'm probably going to do that. So that's the 5-piece Cloudy with a Chance of Rain connector set. And then last but not least, I totally hate to get to the last item in this box, is this gorgeous crystal focal bead called First Raindrops. It is the most stunning shape, and it looks like the camera is rendering all the colors. You can almost see like rainbow colors in there, just like when there's a spring shower. It's beautiful, and the facets, like the top ones, are faceted in this elongated way, and then these are all cubed, and it has this beautiful profile. And like, to me, I see really fun wire wrapping here. You could do a decorative head pin, and I would even like wrap my wire down to just really neatly across the top of this and just have a gorgeous pendant. That is one beautiful, beautiful crystal. Okay, let me clean up my mess. I have to decide. I definitely want to make a bracelet, but I think I may just do that in a separate video. So stay tuned, or if you have not subscribed to my channel, do that, and you know, tap the bell notification so that when I've opened a box or shared the contents, when I come back, you'll get the notification for the other projects in the box. And also, I'm going to say it now before I forget to say it, check the description box. I have a discount code for Jessie James Bead's website, and they offer it to my audience. And if you want to subscribe to the Magical Mystery Bead Box, you can use it for that. But if you don't want to get a monthly box, you can also use it to shop the website. And so aside from the Jessie James Beads monthly box that they do, which is always, like I said, this magical world of beauty and whimsy, they do special limited edition collections just about every month, and they have specials and things like that on their website. So, you know, use my code. It helps out my channel and it helps you out. And I always like to mention that you can greatly reduce the price of this monthly box if you sign up to receive it for a longer period of time. So it's more expensive if you just buy a one-off. And if you do like 3 months, the price comes down. 6 months, even lower. If you sign up to receive it for a whole year, it's extremely affordable. So if it's something you think you would like, don't forget that you can do that when you check out. So I'm going to clean up. I'll be right back. Okay, what was one pair of earrings has now turned into 3 pairs of earrings. And I did the sample, or the first earring, on every one. But before we do that, let me just clean away. I've cut everything open, and I'm just going to clean up a little bit so that you'll be able to see the earrings. But I cut open that beautiful little bead strand called Silly Goose, and these beads are just absolutely amazing. I mean, as I said, they're just magical. And you guys, look at the little ducky spacers. Can you see the little enamel on his beak? They're the sweetest things. And then I just love these little twisted wire spacers that were on that. It's so beautiful. And so this, like these ceramic beads, I already know some of the things I put the drops, I cut the little raindrops open, and this is gonna be in another video with a really sweet, really beautiful bracelet. I'm so excited to make it. Just a little sneak peek, I'm gonna be doing it on waxed cord. It's gonna be a knotted and mixed media bracelet. I also think I'm going to use some of these guys from the other mix, these ceramic beads that look like little water ripples in a pond. They're so beautiful. So I'm just going to set that aside so that you can see. And I'm going to start with the most difficult pair of earrings. So this is really the most difficult. And if you're new to wire wrapping, maybe instead of attaching this drop right to your first wrapped loop, maybe wrap it separately and then use a jump ring to connect them. That might help you. This is a briolette wrap, and one of the things that makes it a little tricky is just because there's a little bit of thickness to this drop. So we're going to do that one first, and I'll just give you a little peek of the other one too. This one is probably the second in difficulty, And I did a kind of a modified briolette wrap on this. I twisted the wire and then turned it into a simple loop. So that is much easier. And then the last little beautiful whimsical is this little dangle with the umbrella. There's kind of something special about this jump ring, and I used a tool that I love to do my simple loops. Let me straighten this wire a little bit. And the loops on this one do need to be going in opposite directions, and I'll talk to you about the orientation. But if you notice, none of these earrings have an ear wire because I love my gold-filled interchangeable lever back ear wires, especially when I'm going to make a lot of earrings from a single box. I don't need an ear wire for every single earring, and I just put that loop in the ear wire, put it in my ear, snap it closed. They're really easy to take on and off, and it's just great if you even go somewhere, or even as a gift, if you give a set of these ear wires to somebody as a gift and then make several drops for them, so when they're feeling more elegant, a little more fun, a little more playful and whimsical, they can, you know, have their ear wire and change them out. It's one of my loves. My old friends, not that you're old, but old in having been on my channel for a long time, that is not going to be anything new to you. So I'm going to start with a piece of 20 gauge wire. I'm using my Soft Flex craft wire, and I'm using 3 different gauges for the different applications on these earrings. My main wire wrapped loop, I'm going to use 20 gauge, and then I went down to 22 gauge for the lightning bolt earring, and I used 24 gauge for that little briolette wrap. So I just love the Soft Flex wire. It's not the German style, so it's not as hard, but it does have an anti-tarnish coating, and for earrings, it's an absolutely perfect application and very easy to work with. And I did decide to keep all these earrings in gold. The box is a mix of gold and silver. On my bracelet, I haven't decided if I'm going to do all silver or gold and silver, but I like to mix them, and that's a big trend for 2025, as well as pearls. So I love that this box is dotted with pearls. So if you have never done a wire wrapped loop before, you're going to take a piece of wire, and if you notice me warming it between my fingers and just smoothing it and straightening it, that makes the wire perform better for you. And I'm just going to give myself enough space to create a little loop and do a few wraps. So a 90-degree bend, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and depending on the size loop that I want, smaller is near the tip, larger is up here, and I did about a medium size. I eyeball it, but again, if you're new to wire working, you can take a Sharpie marker and put a little cheater mark on your pliers so you know to always lay your wire in the same spot. Then I'm going to wrap that wire over the top barrel of the plier and bring it all the way back toward me, so when I turn it that way, that's what I have. But now I can't keep wrapping because the bottom barrel is in my way, so I am going to rotate so what was the bottom barrel is now on the top. And now I'm going to bring this wire the rest of the way around and just center that loop. So again, just warm and straighten my wire and roll my wrist back, whatever I have to do so that that loop is centered on the wire. And when I take it away, I have a really, really pretty loop. Now I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and get a hold of that loop and do 3 wraps. And I usually do 3, but on earrings, if I'm doing them, I try to get them the same. So I did 3 at the top of this one. So 1, 2, 3. There is going to be a front and a back to these earrings. And here's another tip if you're brand new. If your wires, sometimes my wraps are not tight next to each other, but you can fix that before you move on by putting your plier inside the loop and just gathering them up. And you can do front to back, and it's amazing how much you can move that wire. So, you know, I like to take my time with wire, warm, smooth, straighten, and tidy things up as I go along. If things aren't looking good and you go on to the next step, at the end, you really can't fix anything. And, you know, like I say, I'll just, I know some people, it probably drives them crazy because I'm a little fussy with my jewelry, and you'll see me, and sometimes I edit it out, you'll see me repeating the same steps, but I want a really nice, neat loop. So the next thing I'm going to do is take one of these little, they look like a Pringles, they're Stardust finished little disc spacer beads that have a bend in them, and I'm going to put this this faceted rectangle bead. And the reason I said there's going to be a front and a back is because this crystal has kind of a milky white side and then a really dark side. And I'm going to do it so that that milky white side is facing forward. So at first, everything's going to spin around. Don't worry about that. I'm going to flank this bead with another little Pringles bead. And then I want to do this so that this loop is going in the same direction as the first one. So I'll be bending my wire in that direction perpendicular to my mat. So I'm just going to get a hold of my stack of beads right where the wire comes out of that last spacer, 90-degree bend, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing. Put my plier in the same mark and bring it over. Get that bottom barrel out of my way by rotating. Bring this around, and now I want to roll my wrist back, pull this down, whatever I need to do to make sure that I am centered on that stack of beads. And then when I take it away, that's what I have. And then I'm going to do the same thing, only this time when I get down, I'm going to wrap. When I get down near my beads, I see how everything is not lined up. I'm going to place everything the way that I want it, and then do my final wrap that sort of tightens it. And so for newer people, again, I'm sorry for those of you that are veteran wire wrappers, but for newer people, if you are not sure where you should do a simple loop and where you should do a wire wrapped loop, one of the things that a wire wrapped loop does is it gives you the possibility to tighten, to secure your beads facing forward or facing in the direction that you want. And with simple loops, the bead stays really loose in the simple loop. So I have everything the way that I want it. It's not tightened down yet because I'm going to come and trim my excess piece of wire here. Just trim it off. And now when I come in with my pliers to get that last little loop that I wrapped, and this is this bead, this spacer bead, is a little tricky because of the curvature in it, so it's a little hard to get a hold of, but I know that I can do it. So I'm just gently, that is a crystal, so I'm being really gentle, and I'm just like snuggling that final wrap in line with the others. There's a crystal under this spacer bead, so I'm careful not to put too much pressure, and I want to make sure that I tidy everything up before I move on. And if your loops became misaligned in the wrapping process, you can straighten them up. But that looks really good. And so now that bead is not spinning around, and now when I connect my earring, I have both of them the same on the milky side, and I don't have one that looks lighter and darker. So that's the application for that. And then I'm going to go down to the 24 gauge wire. And so the drill hole on this bead goes across the middle. And so what I wanted to do is almost create the look of a little bead cap. So I'm going to put my wire in not very far because I'm going to trim this shorter one away, and I'm just going to pull these wires up. Because of the thickness of this teardrop bead, I can actually use the bead to get my shape. So I'm just pulling this against the bead, and I also like to use my pliers to get a hold of those wires and just make them mimic the shape of that bead, just like that. And then I'm going to come to this shorter wire right a little tiny bit above the bend and just snip it. And now I'm going to do that same thing again, a wire wrapped loop, and this time I'm holding my two wires at the top, and I'm going to warm and straighten this and just get it ready to go. And this time I'm going to bend this way because my loop will be going that way, and so for the orientation that will make that teardrop hanging forward. So maybe it's easier to just show you. It's the same steps, a 90-degree bend, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. I made a smaller loop on this, so I stayed down more near the tip, and I brought it over the top, and then rotate again, and then bring this around. Same step, it's just a little bit smaller. And from here, as I said, if you're newer to wire wrapping, you might want to go ahead and wrap this and then connect with a jump ring. But if you're adept at wire wrapping and you're not brand new, you can open that and add it to the bottom wire wrapped loop. And because this is such a small loop, I'm going to use my Xuron crimping pliers just to do my wrapping because that tip is so small. So I just want to close that wire where I opened it to attach. Just get it closed and just get the tip of the plier in there and start wrapping. So now I'm going to encase the cut wire, the shorter wire, in with my wraps. And I want to make sure that it's pretty straight. And I just go slowly and straighten this up as I go and just lay one wrap right beneath the previous one. And so this it gives you a shorter briolette wrap, but it also gives you kind of the look of a little bead cap on top of your teardrop. And since I do know that this is a front and a back, I'm going to wrap around to the back, and that's where I'll trim off, and then, you know, just straighten everything out. So I just come to the back and trim back here. And, you know, like with everything, trim and tuck. And so this was the most difficult just because of that briolette wrap. But look how beautiful that is. So pretty. And I just love the dangle. It's so pretty. And then once again, I have my interchangeable lever back ear wires. I want to attach it for the front, and that's what that looks like. And I get a nice little dangle. And if I'm not in the mood for this, you know, I have my earring for the next one. So this little lightning bolt with the mother of pearl inlay does the job all on its own. So I'm going to take this little teardrop and start out the same way. I went down to 24 gauge wire for this, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just make that wire hug the top of the bead. Use my pliers. You can do it with your fingers too, to draw those wires together at the top of the bead, and just smooth, warm, straighten. And then I'm going to take my nylon jaw pliers and get a hold of those two wires right at the top, and I'm going to use the bead almost like a little knob. My pressure with my hand is pretty light, and I'm just going to twist and pull at the same time just to create a little twist. And you don't need much, like this is already a lot more than I need. Because if you were going to wrap this as a wrapped loop, you would do it the same way. You're just looking at the twisted wire as if it's a single wire. But I'm going to do, and you could wrap it if you wanted to, but I'm going to do, have that now. I'm going to do it as a simple loop. And again, orientation, these loops on my connector are going parallel to my mat. So the loop that's going to connect into them needs to go perpendicular. So I'm going to bend the wire perpendicular to my mat. Same thing, get a hold of the bead at the top, 90-degree bend. It looks like I'm about to wrap this loop. I'm going to come here with my round nose pliers and bring it over the top barrel, rotate, bring it around to the back, center that loop, get it organized, get everything organized. With the twisted, when you're wrapping with the twisted wire, sometimes you do, it's two wires together, so sometimes you do have to do a little cleanup there. But I have that loop, and now I'm gonna come right where the wire meets the core and snip. And so now it's a simple loop. And again, I'm gonna connect these so that the opening of this simple loop, this twisted wire simple loop, is going toward the back, the side that does not have the mother of pearl. So it looks seamless from the front. So when I close this simple loop and get it organized, and like I say, it's a twisted wire, so like sometimes you have to organize twisted wire a little bit, especially when you're making a twisted loop out of it. I mean a simple loop. I cannot talk. I'm just going to fill. And then when I look at this from the front, it's just seamless. I just see my little bit of twist. It still needs a little zhuzhing. You can even put your round nose pliers back inside those loops if you need to. Okay, much better. So when I look at it, it's seamless right down the front. My opening is toward the back, so it's just a little step of quality. And then this one, the last one, is super simple and super cute. And the fun thing about this jump ring is that I have this solid brass gold-plated E-coated chain that I just love, and I had to cut some pieces off. They're solid links, you can't open them, so when I had to remove the links, I don't toss them away because they just become a fancy jump ring and they're perfect for earrings. So I decided to use that little twisted rope jump ring for my earrings here. So this is 22 gauge wire, and I would have used 20 gauge wire here, but I really wanted these little bugle beads from that mix. I just love the color with the umbrellas, and they would not go through. So I'm going to use my smallest one-step looper. It's the 1.5 millimeter, and just put a simple loop in here and smooth, warm, straight. And I want to start with a nice straight wire on this piece so that I don't have to do anything to it on the back side. And it is a little bit fine for the one-step looper, but that's okay. I like to work harden and straighten everything up anyway. And then I'm going to just string on this little pattern of a bugle bead. And then I had to go into my stash and get this little frosted white seed bead because the gold spacers slide right down over the bugle bead without something to stop it. So, but it looks really nice. And then I love adding the little pearl to this pattern because the little umbrellas have a tiny pearl for the handle. So I loved adding the pearl into this pattern. And then another gold disc spacer. And then to keep my other bugle bead from sliding down, put one of those little frosted seed beads and my last bugle bead. And now I'm going to come back to the one-step looper, but this time I need the loop going in the opposite direction. So this loop is going, the opening is right here, so I'm going to turn it that way so that it's parallel to my mat. And you can totally readjust your loops with 2 pairs of pliers if you get the orientation wrong. But when I know what I'm doing, I go ahead and do it, you know, right to begin with. So I'm going to just watching to make sure that I have a tiny bit of space here and that my wire doesn't flip out of there. I'm not closing the tool all the way because I don't want to damage my bead. And while it's in the tool, I'm just going to straighten everything. And now I have this simple loop and it's going in the opposite direction. Give it a final little closure, work harden a little bit, and while I have a hold of my pliers here, just take the chance. It's pretty straight, but can you see that this loop is going parallel to my mat and this loop is perpendicular to my mat, and I will show you why. So this one at the top that's going this way is what's going to go on the ear wire, and then I'm going to put my little jump ring through here and then put the umbrella on the jump ring, and that keeps the handle of the umbrella facing forward, and it will just hang nicer even though it's a swinging kind of a swinging charm. And I'm just going to close that link that is now a fancy jump ring. When I cut them for my bracelet, I just do like an angled cut off to the side, and so they just become a really beautiful jump ring. And once again, this can go on my lever back interchangeable ear wires. It's so sweet and whimsical and just fun. And I always think of this as being extremely casual. This would be so cute with beach wear, with a bathing suit and a bathing suit cover up. It would be really cute with like denim shorts or chambray shorts and a white t-shirt. Just so cute. I just love these. So 3 really fast, fun pairs of earrings. And like I said, I will be back with another video with a bracelet because that beautiful little duck bead is so cute. So again, check the description box. I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, friends.